1. Hyperfocus. When your brain enters turbo mode. Forget what you think you know about focus. This isn't just sitting still and paying attention. Hyperfocus is something else entirely. It's not attention, it's possession. Imagine being grabbed by a task so completely that the world disappears. You blink and it's hours later. You've skipped meals, ignored texts, and somehow built a database, reorganized your bookshelves, and outlined a screenplay accidentally. Hyperfocus is often linked with ADHD, but it's not exclusive to it. Even neurotypical people can slip into this state, especially when deep interest or creative challenge is involved. What's happening? Your brain's dopamine reward loop kicks into overdrive. Each little achievement feeds more dopamine, locking you into a laser-focused, goal-driven trance. It's so powerful, time warps. The outside world fades. Someone could scream, "Fire!" and your brain might reply, "Give me one more second." It's how artists paint. For days, coders build apps in one sitting, or hobbyists disappear for weekends. But there's a catch. Hyperfocus isn't time management, it's time abandonment. You don't manage hours, you exit them. If you've ever been accused of going too deep into a task or ghosting everyone while obsessing over a side project, you might not be scattered or slow. You're just running in turbo mode. And it only switches on when your brain actually cares. 2. Superface recognition. The human surveillance system. Ever seen a random stranger and thought, "Weren't you standing behind the cake table at Amanda's cousin's wedding in 2010? And been right. You might have highly superior face recognition, aka being a super recognizer. Your brain's fusiform face area isn't just working, it's working overtime. Most people need repetition to remember a face. You store them after a single glance. About 1–2% of the population has this skill, and it's not something you can learn, it's built in. You can spot actors in cameos, recognize someone from a fuzzy ID badge, and pick out a former classmate from a grainy photo taken years ago. Some law enforcement teams actually recruit super recognizers to scan security footage because AI still can't beat them. But it's not all glamorous. You constantly recognize people who don't remember you, which leads to awkward, "Do I know you?" stares. Still, if you've ever said, "You look familiar," and really meant it, you may be one of the few people with a photographic people memory running facial software your brain never got permission to install. 3. Mirror touch. Synesthesia, when you feel others' pain. Literally picture this: someone across the room gets slapped. You flinch. Not just mentally you feel it, like your cheek just got stung too. That's mirror touch synesthesia, a rare neurological condition where watching someone being touched makes you feel it yourself. Not metaphorically, physically. In most people, watching touch activates empathy circuits, mirror neurons. But in mirror touch, folks, that activation spills into the somatosensory cortex, the part responsible for your body's sensations. Functional MRI scans even show your brain lighting up like you were the one touched. About 1.6% of people experience this. And while it sounds like a superpower, and it kind of is, it can also be exhausting. Overwhelming emotional input, sensory overload in crowds, and the constant challenge of explaining it without sounding like a Marvel origin story. But here's the truth. It's not broken wiring. It's next-level empathy. Your nervous system just missed the memo about where your body ends and the world begins. 4. Aphantasia, when your mind's eye is blind. Close your eyes. Picture a beach. Do you see waves, sand, the sun setting behind a palm tree? If the answer is just blackness, congrats, you might have aphantasia. It's the inability to visualize mental images. No mental photos. No imaginary movie scenes. No visual cutaways when you reminisce. When someone says, "Picture this," your brain replies, "Yeah, we don't do that here." Roughly 2–4% of people have aphantasia. Most don't realize it until adulthood because nobody talks about how they imagine things. Everyone just assumes you can, but here's the kicker: many creative minds have aphantasia. Artists, writers, filmmakers, scientists, they crush reality without ever seeing it internally. How? Because imagination isn't visual, it's conceptual. You don't see a dog, you think 4 legs, fur barks, waggy tail. Your brain skips pictures and runs on data. It's not a flaw, it's command line genius. So if you've never seen daydreams in your mind but build brilliant ideas from scratch, you're not broken, you're optimized. 5. Absolute pitch hearing in HD. Imagine hearing a microwave beep and instantly knowing it's an F sharp. You didn't guess. You didn't compare. You knew. That's absolute pitch, also known as perfect pitch. It's the rare ability to identify musical notes without reference. Your auditory cortex has an internal database of pitch frequencies, so when you hear a note, your brain matches it automatically. Only about 1 in 10,000 people have true absolute pitch. It usually shows up in people who started musical training super early, or in speakers of tonal languages like Mandarin or Vietnamese, where pitch changes word meaning. This skill lets you name any note, recreate melodies from memory, and annihilate anyone in a guess the pitch challenge. But it's not always a blessing. When music's slightly off-key or poorly auto-tuned, your brain registers it as violence. You don't hear wrong notes, you feel them. So next time your friend's guitar is slightly flat and you look like you're in pain, you're not snobby, you're just accurate. 6. Loss. Aversion bias. Why losing hurts more than winning feels good. Imagine finding a $100 bill. Pretty great right now. Imagine losing that 100 right after. Gut punch, isn't it? That's your brain reacting to what's called loss aversion. Evolution hardwired us to fear losing resources because in ancient times, losing food, tools, or status could mean death. The result? We feel losses twice as intensely as gains. This is why people hold on to toxic investments, hoard junk in their garages, or refuse to quit things that no longer serve them. It's not just sentiment, it's survival logic. Your ancient brain is screaming, "We might need this, even if this is a broken printer from 2009. Understanding loss aversion helps explain why change is hard, and why letting go often feels like a threat, even when it's the healthy thing to do. Your brain isn't irrational, it's just still stuck in the Stone Age. 7. Preoccupation with status. Why you compare yourself to others, even when you know you shouldn't ever scroll through Instagram and suddenly feel like your life is embarrassingly average. That's not just modern anxiety, it's primal. In tribal societies, status determined everything. Your access to resources, mates, and protection. Being low status could literally get you kicked out of the group, and that meant death. So our brains evolved to constantly measure social rank, to look for threats to status, and to chase validation like our lives depend on it. And online, that same instinct spirals. Followers, likes, promotions, appearances. But here's the truth. Social comparison is part of how your brain keeps you safe. It's not vanity, it's vigilance. Still, knowing that doesn't make it easier. But it does help you realize that the voice whispering "not good enough" isn't personal. It's prehistoric. 8. The fairness instinct. Why injustice feels like a personal attack. Ever feel white-hot rage when someone cuts in line, or when a co-worker takes credit for your idea? That's not pettiness. It's your fairness instinct lighting up like a Christmas tree. In ancient tribes, fairness wasn't a luxury, it was survival. If someone hoarded food or cheated the system, it could destabilize the entire group. Your ancestors evolved to police fairness fiercely. Today, that instinct still burns. Whether it's a stranger breaking rules or a boss showing favoritism, your brain treats injustice like an existential threat. That's why even small slights can send your emotions soaring. It's not drama. It's defense. Understanding this gives you power. Because once you realize that your emotional fire is evolutionary, you can channel it into action, into boundaries, into change.